What's the frequency? Also, aliens.
Loving the aliens.
What it do? What it do?
Hi.
Hey, girl, hey.
Go ahead.
So I am Melissa,
And I'm Melissa.
and we are Honeybee Awakened. Welcome to our channel. If you are new, please like and subscribe to our channel. Like this video and share it if you'd like. We are going to talk about all things awakening and a lot of other random shit too, because that's just what we do.
Yeah. And we also have a chat if you want to chat and ask questions or anything. You can do that. Can you see the smoke on there? I got some sage going inside. I don't know if you can see it or
I
not.
don't know if you can see it. Oh, yeah, you can see a little bit.
It's not ghost.
It's not ghost. Not this time. Well,
Yeah,
it might be.
Might be.
Smells so good. Dude, I haven't meditated or just sat, even without a meditation, in just with my incense and just in like 2 weeks.
Why?
I don't know. It's been weird. There's
has
been a
been
lot of
weird.
weird energy.
Yes. So
Have you sat with your incense and just like
yeah, I try to meditate every day. She keeps wondering what's
doing? Oh, did
what's
it come in?
crunching. I got a present. Because it's her birthday.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
So I got you presents.
Thank you.
She gets to do it on camera because it coincides with.
It was my birthday. It was my birthday on Friday. What is this? Hold on. Oh, yay.
Show the camera.
It says be kind. Be kind.
Be kind.
Oh my god, thank you.
Yes.
I love you.
And then I got you a shirt too.
I'm excited about the shirt. I may be putting the shirt on. I know we're both wearing blue, but
Well, maybe off.
oh, my
camera.
eyelash is sticking to me again.
We might get a whole new viewers club.
I don't mind. I can't open it.
Okay, I do that. You look at your
Okay.
shirt. So yeah, it was her birthday on Friday, and so
That's so cute.
took forever to come
Where
in.
did you get this?
Amazonian.
Support your local honeybee.
Save the bees.
Save the bee. I have to wear this. What are you talking about?
Just gonna go off camera.
Hold on. I'm gonna go off camera. Just slightly.
All right, so our channel is where we. She's totally
Woo!
naked. She's naked.
Getting this party started off right there, little lady.
Our channel is about
Hope it fits.
anything and everything when it surrounds awakening, and hopefully to help those who are awakening. Ah, it's so cute!
That's so cute and it fits good.
Yay!
Yay! It covers my fat rolls. my fat rolls.
So yeah, we're here to help you guys out. Oh, jeez. Help you guys out if you're, going through an awakening, if you're right at that cusp of weird stuff happening to you, or whatevs, or maybe you're just interested in, self-love and all those things that are weird. We're here for you.
We're here for you. And we do appreciate people that have questions and want to ask specifically, hey, what happens, with this? Like, I've been having a lot of anxiety, or I've been hearing this, or I've been feeling this, or whatever. Nothing is too out of the ordinary for us because, she talks to aliens on the daily, and I get random. No, I'm never saying random again, especially after this last realization. I get dreams and downloads through my dream state all the time. And it's been a wild ride.
Who has random dreams. You know, isn't it cute?
This is so cute. It smells funny. It's cute. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're weird as shit, but you know.
I love her.
Ooh.
Yay.
But you know, sometimes weird stuff happens to you.
Weird stuff does happen. And, you know, you just have to be open and accepting of it and not like judgmental on yourself.
Oh, that brings me to a good point. I heard something today while I was in my meditative driving state because I drove all over the world today.
Oh.
Not like, you know.
I
but
was like, why were you meditating while you were driving? Don't do that.
I do that all the time. But, you know, we're not special.
Well.
Rude. So rude. Just kidding.
Her special.
But in the overall scheme of things, like we're all
You're right.
of us.
We're all basically have the same abilities.
Yep.
We have the same experiences. Some of us are just open to it. Some of us are not.
Yeah, and some things come easier than others. But we all have the abilities to do every single thing we talk about on this channel, everything that anybody else talks about, you know, channeling, feeling vibrations, you know, I don't know, seeing dreams and stuff like that, like seeing visions.
Yeah.
We all have those abilities. Nobody's special. But that's part of the reason we're here, so that, you know, you don't feel alone, A, and then B, to maybe help give you information that we receive. So,
Yeah. And so that brings me to downloads. Yeah. I want to talk about really quickly just the definition of a download in our terms.
Okay.
And so I'll go ahead and go first since I brought it up. So a download for me is something that occurs a download can occur at any time. Okay, at any time. But we have different states of awareness. We have, like, in our dream state. So we've got all these states, like alpha, beta, theta, like delta. Mm-hmm. All of these levels of consciousness. And you can get a download at any time. At any time. It's just, how do you receive them? What makes sense to you? And for a long time, my stuff was just through dreams.
Which makes sense because you're more susceptible because your ego can get out of the way.
My ego got out of the way. And then when I started having my awakening and I had like a huge death of an ego, then I started getting the downloads after the dreams, and right in that moment when you're awake, but you can't fully feel your body yet. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of times when people have what they call sleep paralysis.
I think it's the theta.
Yeah. And they like it's like you're awake, but you're not back in your body yet. And you
That's when I do this.
Yeah, and you can't breathe and you can't move and you're just like, "Oh my god, something's taking over me." That's usually when I get the most profound ones now.
Me too.
Because I've been able to put, like, I know that my ego can go aside, but it took a long time to realize those because I was like, I'm hearing shit and I'm clearly losing my mind, and based on what the norm is, oh yeah, you're insane. Mm-hmm. You need to go and get psychiatric help. No. That's a fucking download. Mm-hmm. That's a download. So that's my kind of abstract definition of a download. What would you say?
Yeah, no, that's definitely what it is. You know, like even the driving thing, that was a download for me. But I definitely think that for me, I can get in a meditative state because I've been training for so long. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you're running. It's kind of the same thing. Like you're running and you get into that kind of theta waves where your ego's out of the way and you're just like mindless almost. And then you're like Wait, where'd that thought
Just like
come
falling on top of
Yeah, and
one
so
leg at a time.
yeah. So I can get into that while driving or anything else just because I don't know. I guess my ego's like, well, fuck, I gave up on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, my ego still gets in the way, but I think
Well,
it's
if it didn't, I would be concerned because you are an Aries, and like the Aries is the ego. Like it's what lets us survive on this plane of existence.
yeah, I know my ego totally gets in there. Yeah. Case in point later. But yes, but I think
We have
I think
movie
we have
chairs
some
again.
Squeaky squeakers. But I think that's why, because I have been doing the work that I like when I'm driving, I can get into that kind of theta wave and just be mindless for a little bit and get downloads. But yeah, that's totally what a download is. It's usually either theta or I think it's what's the one where you're asleep? Not the one where you're like
Beta.
dead asleep.
Oh, during your REM? Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up and see if it's
Like, have you ever noticed that you don't really dream that much if you're like so dead tired?
yeah,
that you just
or you
kinda,
just
like,
don't even remember and you wake up
black
and you're like,
out.
yeah.
Like, that's not usually when you get downloads. That's when your body's like, peace, I'm out.
Peace out.
Yeah, or if you do, you're
Beta.
going somewhere else. Although whenever my peeps take me away, I don't remember anything. But
Yeah, that's really interesting that you don't remember.
But they told me that I don't need to, like that it'll come when it's supposed to come, but that they're training me, and if they were to show me, it would be too much for my
Yeah.
ego brain to handle. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, and that feeds into, you know,
Where you're
my yeah, my download and how we don't even know. You don't even know.
Yeah, don't even know.
You don't even know. We don't even know, not even the half of it, not a fraction of it, not a millisecond of it. We don't even have the slightest idea.
So why don't you tell us? Because this is the part of the show where we kind of talk about our week and the stuff that's happened throughout this week, which for us is usually way too much to put into an hour podcast.
I know. We
But-
really need to start doing separate videos.
Midweeks, yeah. But why don't you kind of give them your overall? Because I didn't have anything.
Do we do an overall, or do you want me to like talk about it? It's so convoluted.
Well, I think it's going to tie into what we're going to talk about as far as the cosmos goes, and as far as our what is it called?
The buzz?
No, our meaty part.
I don't know. You deleted
I
it.
deleted it off the board. She wanted to draw.
Nice. She was so nice to wipe the board clean so that I could draw on it for my download topic.
But I don't know what this part
But
said.
we forgot. Oh, you know what I have?
The hive? No, we're the
No,
hive.
that's
us.
That's the tarot.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Technology will fail you. Whiteboard will fail you. But written
Ink
down.
and paper will no longer
Yeah.
fail you.
Let's find out. That's my daily food vlog. Look.
Have you watched that new movie Old yet?
Old?
Yeah, where it's an island where time goes like 24 hours is an entire lifetime.
Do
It's
they
crazy.
age fast?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That would
It was
suck
really,
balls.
really, really, really bad acting, but it was actually a pretty cool movie. Or concept.
The buzz and then the hive mind. So it would be in the buzz.
The Bee's Knees.
Oh, the bee's
That's what
knees.
it's called. I was like, what
Okay.
is it? The Bee's Knees. So, I want you to go ahead and start because it's going to tie into the buzz and the Bee's Knees. If I think so.
Okay.
I think. And if not, then fuck it. We'll just
This
go
is
with it.
all right. So, disclaimer. First of all, it's very difficult for me to describe things on the micro level and like the more detailed level because once I zoom out and I see the whole thing, I'm like, oh, man, guys, this.
It makes sense.
And I just have to like assume that you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to try really hard, so please bear with me.
So you're going to dumb it down for us?
I'm going to water it down,
Okay.
and then I'm going to...
I have no idea, by the way, what she's going to tell us. So.
Okay, so a couple of years ago... Can you hear me?
A couple of years ago.
We have moved into the ASMR section of Honeybee Awakened. Okay. We can totally do ASMR. I don't know. I think my voice is probably a little too shrill for that shit. Hello.
I can't.
Okay.
That was our,
That's our ASMR. You're welcome. Okay, so a couple of years ago, I get this download, right? We've talked about downloads now, so you're all familiar. I wake up and I hear prime atomic number. And it was so loud, and it was from a voice that wasn't my own. It wasn't my higher self. It wasn't me. It wasn't anything to do with me. It was this loud, it's much more masculine voice than I have. And it said prime atomic number.
That's how they always come in. I swear to goodness gracious. It's
yeah,
always
and you're
like
just
that. And
like,
you're like, raw.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
What's happening? So,
but something like that, I'd be like, oh man, I don't do math.
well, I was like, and they kept saying it, and finally I was like, prime atomic number, and like I said it.
Yeah, I've done that.
And so I was like, okay, what is, and the first thing that you do when you hear a download and you have no idea what it means is you go, what the fuck does that mean?
Thank God we have Google.
Yeah, and I'm like searching through my brain and I'm like, what? And so I'm like, I go and I find a piece of paper and I write it down like prime atomic number. And I'm like, and I keep looking at it like, did I hear that right? And it was just like, prime atomic number. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, fine. But what does that mean? So for a couple of years, I was searching for that term, prime atomic, but I was combining the words prime atomic number for a while. And then I was just like, okay, well, I know what an atomic number on the periodic table is. Got that. I studied science. I was a biotech major. We didn't use chemistry a whole lot, but there was a certain level of that you had to know. And I know what a prime number is. And so I was like, so a prime atomic number, what does that mean for it together? Well, for whatever reason, I was not able to find any articles, any information, anything online that had anything to do with prime atomic numbers until a couple of days ago, because it has this download has been, and I talked about it like 1 or 2 episodes ago. I was like, yeah, I still need to find out what the hell that is and what it means. So finally getting to talk about this. This is like, oh. So I finally find some articles on atomic numbers that are prime that people started questioning, is there a pattern? Because they fall at a certain... Hello?
It's a dog.
It's just a dog? Yeah. Okay. Seemed like the door wanted to open. When you look at a periodic table, you see atomic numbers, and the prime numbers, they seem to fall in the same columns somewhat, but then they get jumbled and it looks pretty random. Well, eventually they were able to do an experiment on prime numbers and see if there was a pattern. And sure enough, if you, say you're looking at a segment this big, it's going to look random. It's not going to look like there's a pattern at all. Well, you have to zoom out. You got to go way, 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 way out so that you see, like, this becomes like nothing. And all of this area comes here, and then you can see the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to, the long story of that brought down to the short version is they were able to find a pattern. It's called aperiodic. They were able to discover that certain elements could be manipulated with certain, what do they do? They like send light through it, and they were able to reveal a pattern. So prime numbers actually do have a pattern, and they create this quasi-crystal in certain elements. A quasi-crystal in theory should not exist in regular mathematics and equations and stuff, because in order to have a pattern in something grow and become a crystal, it's got to have rules, it's got to have a pattern, it's got to have, these certain amount of sides. Well, they were able to find that, in fact, you can break that rule, and the most beautiful shapes, starting with a pentagonal shape, a pentagon, 5-sided shape, was able to produce these quasi-crystals. So here I am, going from prime atomic number, jolted up out of my bed, prime atomic number, to what does that have to do with an awakening? And I'm like clawing my eyes out. What the fuck does this mean? What are you guys trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Well, the last couple of days I came across a few different articles. And I have, let's see. This one is from, oh no, that's the brainwaves. I'm going to read you this really quick. This is from the APS, the American Physical Society. In 1982, Dan Shetman discovered that certain alloys of aluminum and manganese, if cooled rapidly, produced a diffraction pattern, hitherto believed to be impossible, up to the point that it had been thought that crystals could only form in regular repeating patterns. However, the diffraction pattern that Shetman saw was evidence that crystals were forming in a pattern that couldn't be precisely repeated, reminiscent of the tiling patterns of mathematician Robert Penrose. And if you guys look up Robert Penrose and the Penrose tiles, you will see that he inadvertently, from his tuition or maybe a download or something, he was like, I wonder if I could create a pattern out of something that you shouldn't be able to create a pattern out of. And sure enough, he was able to. And that's only in 2-dimensional. I'm getting there. Trust me. I'm getting there. She's like,
What the fuck?
Shetman's finding was highly controversial, and at one point, he was asked to quit his research group. It took nearly 2 years of persistent effort to get his research published. It goes on and on. There's a lot of stuff before it. But basically, they were able to discover this pattern that created these crystals that should not exist, defies all mathematical reasoning whatsoever, right? But here's the thing. There's rules. Even though it breaks the rules, and I'm gonna, where's, here, this one. Okay.
How will be your holder?
Oh, you'll hold it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So. All right. So this is where we're going to start. So you have to have, usually with a regular rhythmic or patterned crystal, you've got something that has 4 sides, 3 sides, or 6 sides, and then it goes on and on and on from there. Can't have 2 because then that wouldn't be a polygon. So, from these shapes, you can create an expansive, never-ending pattern, and it goes on and on and on and on and on forever. You don't even need this little circle. You just start with this shape. Guess what? Add on the shape. Keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. You don't need the little source. You don't need the source. Same thing for the triangle. You put a triangle in there, right? Guess what? You can put another triangle. You can put another triangle. Put another triangle. Keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going, right? With a pentagonal shape, let's see if I can draw a pentagon. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? You're going to come across a problem. You're not going to be able to put a pentagonal shape without having spaces. Okay? I'm getting there, I swear.
It's a great teacher.
Yeah. So when you're using this prime number and quasi-crystal theory, and it's actually not even a theory, they found quasi-crystals. You're basically saying that you need something that has one shape plus another shape. What's this one? This one would be... So you have to have 2 shapes to make a chain. And what you're going to do... I don't know how they do it, but you're going to make a chain, and it's going to make a loop, and it's going to go all the way around. And if you don't have these 2 shapes completing this loop or completing the chain, it's going to fuck up and it's not going to complete the chain. And it has to work in tandem like that. It has to work like that. And it has to start from the center, and then it works its way out, right? Okay? If you don't complete the chain, you don't get to the next level. Or say you wanted to start from out here. Oh, well, I can make a beautiful thing, and I can start out here. Well, guess what? You're going to have to go back in time or in the chain. Like, say this is the chain, this is the pattern, right? The unassuming pattern. You're going to have to go back to find out what you get to do up here. And that's like, I'm not even going to go into all that stuff. But what all this means for awakening, to me, is that here we are. We're starting at the source. And each level is a chain of existence, right? And every single time this wants to expand to the next one, all of these actually have to match up and work. You don't get to the next level if you have a hole. If you have a hole, then you didn't do it right. Kind of like DNA. So I feel like, say this is the beginning of the universe, source. Okay? Here we are at whatever level. Let's say we're like, however many levels out. Well, right now, we have to go back and figure out where we fucked up. Because we put the wrong fucking shape in. And so, like, right here, we put this really oblong thing in when we should have done the half thing. So we're all having to go back in humanity, in all of consciousness, and go, we need to heal where we were and how we fucked up so that we can put the right piece in, so that we can complete the chain, so that we can move up in within existence and create our new little thing. Anyway, so that's the long and short of that part. But
So you got a question
oh, I got a question.
or a comment? Or
Except the gap creates a star pattern between the pentagons. Yeah, but that's it. That's a whole different thing. Yeah, you just drop it. So, what does prime atomic numbers plus an awakening plus my new theory all have in common? My new theory is
It's saying that you have to go and do the work and fix. I hate the word fix though. So
but you kind of have to fix it. You gotta take out the piece that was wrong, put the piece back in that's right, and then we can continue to move forward.
Wrong. I think it's more of like
It doesn't follow
an
the rules.
acknowledgement of it, an acceptance of it, an understanding of it, and then the willingness to no longer let that, whatever that is, continue to be in your existence.
Right, because if you stay on that pattern, you're going to continually spiral and try to create something that it's not going to work. It's not going to work with the collective. It's not going to complete the chain, and it's not going to allow the entire existence to move to the next and the next and the next. And I'll show you on here, I'll show you the a picture of a quasi-crystal. And basically, it's layers upon layers that... Oh, so my theory is the universe, as we know it, as our little selves here on Earth, looking at all of the universe through the Hubble telescopes, through all of the things that we've sent out in space to view solar systems and the entire universe as we know it, we are one relatively giant quasi-crystal. And they have proven that the universe is expanding, and it's speeding up as it expands, which also supports the theory that the universe is a quasi-crystal, because quasi-crystals, they expand and they keep growing and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, but they can only expand if from the source, the little round circle that's in the middle, after that you have this chain of patterns that happens outside of that, and then another chain outside of that, and another chain outside of that. But each chain can't exist unless the one inside of it is complete. So I think that the entire universe is a giant, relatively speaking, quasi-crystal, and we are just one of the little elements floating in it.
Well, that kind of sucks, because if the universe itself hasn't gone through its own acceptance,
I'm listening.
then we're all stuck in its shithole.
Well, that's the thing. And I think that that's why Dolores Cannon came about, and she was given this information. Basically, they were like, hey, by the way. And she's like, oh, shit. Okay. And the 3 waves that came through. I think that we were given this information because the God, the source, was like, oh, these people are fucking my shit up. Well, they gotta have an awakening. They need to know. They need to understand why this all needs to happen. We're all in this together. You got to do this so that I can continue to expand and continue to learn.
Yeah.
Because God wants to learn. Source wants to learn. But here's my thing. And this is one thing that my dad would tell me when I was little. When I would say, "What do you think about God?" He would say, "Well, imagine you have the universe, and let's make the little quasi crystal universe smaller." And y'all, please share this with your science friends. I'm curious to know what the science people think, and not the ones that are closed minded, the ones that are actually curious about quasi crystal and this theory that I have of the universe. So say this is our quasi crystal universe, right? We all started here. This is source. This is God. This is where we all started.
Universe, whatever.
Yeah. And here's all the little particles and all the little things in each level, and they're doing their part and they're completing the chain, okay? And they want to grow bigger. What's outside of the quasi crystal? Does it exist yet? Are we just part of one giant being? Yeah. Think on that one. Anyways, that is my rant. Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
It does go into our bee's knees totally 100% because, we're talking about love yourself today. And
It's a quasi crystal.
Oh, it's so pretty. Everything astrologically has been kind of saying over the past few weeks that we're having to kind of have these moments of our past coming up. If you aren't healed from it, it's going to come up. And for me personally, boy, was that totally an issue this weekend. Starting around like Thursday.
Yeah, so
I totally was just hit over and over and over with things that I thought that I had, dealt with, but it didn't. And Sunday was my big blowout day, and I got up this morning and it was just like it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it was like, you have to let this go. And I was kind of mean to somebody and I wrote them, and I was like, I'm going to write down all of these things that happened this weekend, these fears that happened this weekend that got brought up, and I'm going to let it go. I'm going to put it on, because that's how I do it. I write it down, I put it away, like off of my mind. When I say put it away, I mean I put it down on paper and I take it off my mind, and then I replace it with some kind of positive affirmation that I will then write 7 times for 7 days. And I have to say, I think it's the one fear that I haven't really dealt with. I've dealt with all the other fears that I can think of somewhere, unless it comes back again that there's something else that's not letting me into the quasi crystal up here. But I do think that we all have these moments, whether this life or another life, that, and by the way, when I say that, even if you don't believe in past lives, that's been scientifically proven that we have these kind of imprints on our DNA from our generations.
From cells.
And past generations. So your ancestors can leave their trauma on your DNA. And so whether you believe in past lives or not, you have these things that are stuck with you. And you may not even know it. You might have had a perfect childhood and a perfect, young adulthood. And all of a sudden you've got these fears that come up and you don't even have an answer for them, where they came from, what they are, but you're traumatically, they're, effing up your life. And
they're attached to you.
It's attached. Yeah, and you have to deal with it, and you can't just, let it go. You have to replace it with something. And so I've been doing that for years now, because I had a pretty traumatic childhood of, replacing a lot But this was the one fear that I guess I didn't deal with. That I thought that I would say I thought that I dealt with. And I don't like to say fix, like I said, because it really is an acceptance. Because, your fear is only as big as you give it attention.
Mm-hmm.
But it still will be there. Even if you fix it, it's still going to be there. It's an acceptance of it and a love for it is whenever then your fear is like,
I think that, and like, yeah, that makes sense. And I think that as far as, going back and like the fixing, it's more of like having the acceptance and letting the love kind of trump the fear.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah,
and
it's not
that's
a fix,
how
it's
like that's how you recalibrate it and say, okay, but
because then you're not feeding it anymore.
Yeah.
You've replaced it with this love, and fear and love it doesn't mix. It's like oil and water. You can't walk outside and like I have fears of snakes. I can't go outside and be like, I love you, snake, and be scared of it at the same time. You can't do that. It's impossible. I can't be like, oh, I love you, snake.
I don't know. I there's lots of things that I love that I'm terrified of. But not in a... I know what you're saying.
But like you love and accept and can do and everything with it, if you're afraid of it?
Well, yeah, you just got to overcome it.
Then that's not... Then that means that that's not a total fear. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared to death of roller coasters, but I fucking love them. But it's not it's not like a fear. It's just kind of like, wow, that was...
Yeah.
But it's not like I can't get on it because I'm afraid of it.
Yeah.
Like
no, I agree.
Fear,
I see what you're saying. And yeah, in order to, like if you're really truly 100% afraid of something, how can you love it?
Right. And that's why like a lot of studies will say like somebody who's an arachnophobia, they'll say, go get a spider. Live with it.
Yeah, love it.
Love it.
Well, and you have been like doing that, right?
I saw two, so I'm super afraid of spiders too. And I saw two today. They were these little jumpy spiders, and they've been coming in my life a lot lately. Maybe it's just springtime and summertime in Texas, but whatever. And like today, I'm putting a lockbox on this water faucet, and these two little spiders, they go bing bing, like look at me, and I was like, oh,
hello.
And then I was like putting the lockbox on. And I'm like, you just stay right there and you don't jump at me and we'll be friends, okay? I'm sure this person who was like watching me do this inspection, they were like, what the fuck is wrong with that bitch? Yeah, but they didn't. They just looked at me and they did their little doodle doodle doodle. And I was like, yeah, you're fine.
How?
I'm fine. Doodle doodle doodle. That's what they do. Those little jumpy spiders, their eyes, they're like near, looking all around them. But yeah, I'm nowhere near like that with snakes yet. That's an acceptance for another day.
Yeah, so whenever I sit for Jess.
Yeah.
And like all of those animals, oh my gosh. So for the longest time, I could not do the rats. Especially hairless rats.
Oh, really? The rats? You didn't like them?
Ah! And then the last time, I think it was the time before last, I was there and like they came out and they were like, hey, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to get you your rat snacks, my bad. So I go and I get their snacks and I'm like, thank you. And the female, she just kind of like nuzzled up to me and I was like, oh, rats were people too. Okay. But then from that moment, I was just like, you know what? They're little souls too.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but at that moment, boom, it clicked. And I was like, everything from that point on, I was like, oh, look. And oh, look. And it didn't matter how terrifying it was. I mean, I already, like, can deal with snakes and I can already deal with spiders and stuff. But the rat thing was really rough. But from that moment, I was like, oh.
So, there's
I love all the animals.
The truth and love thing, right? Like, you can't not... Like, what am I trying to say here? Bring it out. If you live in truth and you live in love, you can't go wrong, right? Mm-hmm. So...
There is no fear.
Yeah. if you live in love, there's no hate, there's no disappointment, there's none of that. Like, it's just like, it's a non-judgment thing. And then truth, and when I say truth, I don't mean just like I'm telling you the truth. The truth in knowing that everything is love, everything is a soul. We have just been programmed since we were kids to see things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing this.
fear things a certain way. And
Yeah. And so I've been doing this thing where I'm driving, because I'm always in the freaking car. And I'm driving and I'm looking.
I was myself.
Yeah, it's true. And I look at cars and I'm like, interesting. Like, cars are vibration. What makes you think that a car doesn't have love attached to it? You know, there's someone in the car. Sometimes
We
there's
talk
not.
to our cars.
I talk to my car.
I talk to
all the
my
time.
car.
And, anything, trees, the ground, whatever. We've been taught that, like, it's just a piece of equipment. It's just this. It's just that, And then if you have, like, a good parent, they'll tell you, your car is special. Treat your car with respect and it'll respect you. Like, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really made me think about the whole love yourself thing. Because
Yeah.
how many times do we sit around and, treat ourselves like shit,
Mm-hmm.
have bad thoughts, eat bad shit, drink a little too much.
And I'm like, drink a little too much.
But if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't fix our issues either. Which brings me back to the holes. Because if we're not loving on ourselves, we don't see the holes. So then we can't grow. And
Gotta fill the holes first.
yeah, I mean, you can have a great backyard, but if you got a big ass hole in your backyard, nothing will grow in, and you're not filling it and putting love with some dirt and some grass. There's just gonna be a freaking hole in your yard. You know what I mean? Love yourself.
Love yourself. Fill your holes.
Yeah.
Why are we so stupid? Like, why is it always something like that that gets us? What is that?
We might be a little bit immature.
Fill your holes. Love yourself. Fill your own holes.
That's gonna be the tag.
I'll put this segment on next week's promos.
Love yourself, fill your holes. Oh my god. It's so
Can we get
funny.
sponsored by like a vibrator?
It's so funny, but it's true. Because that's one of the things I realized this weekend is that I had this giant hole that I was like, I need to get filled. No. Okay, seriously.
And nobody can fill it for you. You have to fill that hole yourself.
We are going to be sponsored by vibrators. But it's true. You can't. Nobody can fill it for you.
Why don't we call it space?
Yeah.
Well, we knew that this is eventually going to happen. I was like, how long can I talk about quasi-crystals around this hole before she says something? You never did, though. I was like, okay,
I
great.
was interested. I was like, what?
You were like, she's really lost her fucking mind this time.
Like, man, Professor. Okay, so yes, this space, this empty space, but it doesn't feel empty. That's what's so crazy about it. It feels real and it feels intense and it feels just like, when really it's an empty space. It's this empty space that you've got to fill with love and compassion and acceptance.
Yep.
That's where I got. Which is funny because we missed the buzz, but on the buzz, everything was talking about Christopher Witecki.
Yep, everybody was talking about going back
Yep.
and kind of revisiting that
Well, they were
part.
saying that, but they were also saying that we didn't have a choice. Like,
Yeah, like it or not.
astrologically, no matter what, these things are going to come up over the next week.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing you can do about it except for you can either ignore it and then you're going to just continue on with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be your life.
And if you continue on the pattern that's not supposed to be, then you are contributing to the awakening being squashed.
Your awakening,
That
manifestations,
feeds into
everything.
my whole thing about the quasi crystal and the chain. It's like, if you're not doing your part,
Yeah.
what shape are you? Are you this guy or are you this guy? Because you need to be your shape.
Yeah.
Because we need you to complete the chain so that we can all continue to expand and grow and the universe can continue to do what it needs to do. Because right now, like, it's fucked.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Super fucked.
But yeah, they were all saying it. They were all, every single astrologer or awakened person or anybody that's got the channels that we watch, they're all saying the same thing, that right now we're having to revisit and go, how do I heal this part of me so that I can move forward?
Yeah. Which was interesting to me because as I was going through that this weekend, I hadn't watched any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched some this morning and I was like, oh, well, yeah.
About that.
I did that. Oopsies. Okay, well, I need to work on that. I will try to work all week because, you know.
Man, I didn't have a fucking choice.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I didn't have a choice either, but I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then once I knew about it, I was like, oh, that's what happened. That's why. And, you know, everything's saying, like, if you don't work on it, you're either going to be stuck in it, you're going to let it go, meaning, like, if you're dealing with something that's friction, you'll either let it go or be stuck with it. And then, or you can continue on and you'll be fine.
Yep.
So, I choose fine.
I want to be fine. At this point, I would like to give a shout out to Unsafe Spaces. So that is that's the one that I sent you today.
Yeah, y'all creeped me out, dude. Y'all made me realize the world is crazy.
It's a little bit crazy, batucated.
Batucate.
Batucated. So I met this lady, super sweet. She's here in Austin. And then I'm not sure where the guy is on their channel. But they have this YouTube channel called
that one.
yeah. And it's called Unsafe Space. And they have a Kofefi break, which I love because last year whenever I was I had all those photo shoots and I was like, I would have my Kofefi break, and that's what I called it because it wasn't coffee because it was the afternoon and it was wine, but it wasn't quite noon yet. So I didn't want people to think I was an alcoholic. So I put wine in it, but it was in a coffee cup, and I called it my Kofefi break. And so I met this lady, and she was like, oh yeah, we've got this show. And I was like, oh my God, you call it Kofefi break. But it's called Unsafe Space. And they, especially today, and I know, like, you watched part of it that I hadn't even watched yet. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize they were talking about that. But the stuff that they were talking about while I was on live
Scares me a little bit for humanity, for what they were talking about.
Yeah, and it's a really scary place right now. Humanity is really, really, really fucked up. And that's why it's so important for people like them, like us, astrologers, people that are completely out of their minds and saying things that people are like, what are you talking about? There's no way. It's so important for us to keep going. Just keep going. Keep spreading it. Keep talking about it.
You know, like what they're doing is great because it's putting it out there in the open that, like, you know, you're thinking that everything's all peachy keen by saying that, you know, you can be whatever you want to be. Well, people are using that for not so good reasons.
Yep.
I hate the word evil because I don't really believe in that word. But
They're using it for low,
Low
vibrational
vibrational.
power control, nasty shit.
yeah, it's really, really, really not good. And it's not even governmental stuff. To just
Nope.
what I was watching was not. It wasn't governmental. It was
Doesn't
just.
doesn't have to. It can be.
It could be, but
But
this
it's not
particular
necessarily-
thing that
yeah.
I was watching. It was just ugh, kids.
I haven't even watched that part
It's
yet.
just
So.
messed up. But anyway, like, yeah, our world's a little effed right now, and that's why I was like, so in other words, you're saying that if like everybody doesn't work on their shit, we aren't going to move to the next level.
We are not going to move to that. And that's my theory is that just imagine, and whether this is true or not, just imagine that we all started from source, which if you follow Dolores Cannon, she talks about source all the time, and you can call that God. You can call it
Anything, universe,
whatever.
ascended masters.
We
whatever.
all started from this little, and it also supports Big Bang Theory. Like here we were, and then and we were expanding and expanding and expanding. But we can't expand past a certain level if we don't have our shit together. We have to complete the chain. And right now, as humanity, we are not completing the fucking chain.
Could y'all get on board, please?
We're a little fucked up. So yeah, could y'all please like live in your truth? And I don't care.
That's why I said truth, because when I say loving yourself, you can't do it unless you're living in truth.
You have to. And you know what? I have confidence in saying, live in your truth.
Right, that's what I mean.
Live in your truth, because I guarantee you, at the end of the day, your truth is not going to be that you need to torture children
Right.
and harvest body parts. Your truth is not going to be that you need to subject a certain class of people to slavery. I guarantee you. So live in your truth. Whatever that means, whatever resonates for you, live in your truth so we can all get the fuck on with life.
For real.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But it's true. That's why I said that earlier, because it's not just love. It's not just truth. You have to have both. And if you are loving yourself in truth, you can do no wrong.
Yep.
None. So for everybody, yeah, if you could just live in your truth and love yourself. I love myself.
Loving myself. I'm loving myself. Namaste, motherfuckers. I love us. Yay.
All right.
This is
cool.
a good show, I think.
Yeah.
I like it. Look
All
at
right,
us. We're 2 minutes.
Okay, so you want to pull some cards real quick?
Oh, shit. My bad. How my knee? Oh, God, I got a CrossFit old knee.
Uh-oh, she aged in a matter of days.
Oh, yeah, I'm 40.
She's 40.
Guys, I'm 40 now. I'm 40. I'm an old bitch. Do you want to smell my box?
Shit fell out of her box.
I hate when shit
It
falls.
never-
I hate when shit falls out of my box.
Could you fill your box up, please? I can't get over the box thing. It's just always so good.
I know my box is good.
No, it's not as spicy as it normally is.
It's because I've been detoxing.
You was wrong.
I said it.
You
I
was
said what I
wrong.
said.
So we were wearing blue today. Do blue today.
God, I'm so. You know what? You know why my skin's so good? People are always like, "Oh my God, you have such good
Oh,
skin."
yeah, totally,
It's because
'cause
it's
it's
oily
oily.
as fuck.
Yep.
My
same.
my grandma, she was like, she died when she was 81. Her skin still looked like she was 60. Oily as fuck. Okay, so we're gonna. Are you channeling? Oh fuck. Ooh.
Okay. So I get that we're given this chance to be a part of something bigger. But the only way we can do that is doing it together. And if we're not working together, then we're working against kind of the flow.
Yep.
That's all I really got.
We gotta work together. 2 shapes. 2 shapes. Not 1. 2.
That was like a million shapes.
Well, it ends up becoming a million. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you this other one. This whole quasi crystal thing is like beautiful. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
But do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Guess where it starts
What
from?
is that
One
called?
single source.
Something rug.
Oh, okay.
People, the Indian culture does the Indian rug. It's called something. Mandalum.
Yes.
Something.
Those are similar.
Those rugs that have like the little center and it grows out and it's got like all these shapes in there and then like it's still a big circle and goes like this. That's what she's showing me. Oh.
That's literally a quasi crystal.
So that's the shape that I've been seeing all the time.
But do you see how like there's this little shape in here? So it's
Mhm.
this shape plus this shape.
Mhm.
And that's what
Can you share that with them? Do you know
Yeah,
how
I
to do
can actually. So see how Robert was like, except the gap creates a star pattern. So that's the other shape. There is no gap. You cannot create a completed chain unless you have another.
Do you know when I was a kid?
So yeah, you want me to share this?
Yeah. When I was a kid and I was bored, that's what I would do. I would start with one shape and I would go out, 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 creating a bunch of different shapes
Oh yeah.
until I filled up an entire page full. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. See, we all have that. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it doesn't matter. Like, you start with one little shape, and then you kind of, like, squiggle around it, and then you squiggle around that, and it becomes this obscure thing, but it's beautiful. We all do that. Why?
Yeah, why do we do that?
Why do we do that? My theory, because we are of God.
And it's
God is the source, and God expands like that, and that's what we do. Why won't it let me capture it?
Very interesting.
Very interesting. This is very
It is
interesting.
very interesting.
Why won't it let me show it?
I don't know, just do your cards.
Ah! What happened?
You got it. Who got it?
Who? But you got it.
But you got it. Okay, never mind. You know, fuck it. Just do the tarot card.
Well, I wanted to show it.
Well, we'll put a picture of it on our Instagram.
Okay.
Follow us at Honeybee Awakened on Instagram.
Where is everybody at? Bitches.
They like to watch us the next day.
They like the snippets.
No, we actually get quite a few views.
We do. I think it's the same people over and over, but
Hey, we love our fans. We love you guys.
we love you so much. Okay.
Make sure you like it though, so that we can get more people to see it.
Okay, so the first ones that I got were, and this does do autofocus. It just takes a while, so it goes real slow. I learned that while I was watching the playback from last week. I was like, oh, it did, because it autofocused on the mic, and then it went back to us, and I was like, oh, hello? That was a little...
It was Doodle.
He's all like...
He's like, hello? Okay, what we got?
So I got Death in Reverse and Princess of Cups in Reverse. And this is from the Spiral deck. I've had this since I was 17, I think. Yeah. So Death in Reverse, Princess of Cups in Reverse. I think that we're having a hard time letting go of this new information. Well, we're having a hard time letting go of these past patterns and things that, you know, we've been addicted to. And
It's comforting.
well, yeah, and we don't want to hear this new information that's coming in about how we're supposed to love ourselves and cleanse ourselves. Like we're very resistant to it.
Well, because it goes deeper into that. It's not only loving yourself and cleansing yourself. It's accepting responsibility And it's accepting that every single one of us are the same. There's really no uniqueness. That's hard to accept.
It is. And see?
That's good. Cool. It's got a...
Oh, yeah. I love the spiral deck. It's got all kinds
It's got
of
a
stuff.
pyramid in the sky.
Well, so that's the Knight of Cups. And so that pyramid shape, that's the triangle upside down. And that is the, so you've got your elements, right? You've got upright is fire. Upright with the line, I think, is air. Down is earth. Or down with the line in it is earth. I think. I don't remember.
Interesting. I did not notice.
Yeah. So, and then see here, same thing. See the two triangles down. Moon, Cancer, water. That's the element of that. So then we have the Lovers in reverse. The Moon in reverse. And the Knight of Cups upright. So immediately I get the fact that once again we're having a lot of resistance when it comes to
allowing our soul,
like breaking through that emotional wall that we've put up to things. Like there is something we're supposed to connect to, but we're not allowing ourselves to.
Well, I think that's part of the problem in just the world in general is nobody knows what to connect to anymore. And it's all this, everything from the churches to government to just humanity in general has been completely, the blindfolds have been taken off.
Yeah.
That you can't trust this and you can't trust that and you can't trust this. Who can you trust? Yourself.
Yeah.
That's really, really hard. We've all been told from existence that we are to follow and to trust. And we're now finding out that all of that is bullshit and our trust can't be held anywhere else but here. It's
scary.
Really scary.
It's scary because
it's like whenever you go away for college and you are no longer, your parents aren't holding your hand and feeding you.
It's just you in the world.
It's just you in the world. I never had any of that. But it's just you in the world. But in a perfect world.
Maybe that's why we're so adept of being like cool with the awakening. It's like, oh, cool, yeah, let's go and do that. Like, we're not scared of that shit.
Yeah, that's true, because we were kind of out on our own, doing our own
We've been
thing.
on our own for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, so like everybody's little trust bubble that they were in is being burst. And so it's scary, and it's like, and then to go within and have to work on that shit too.
Well, and here's the other thing. Most people, especially the ones, and they talk about it in the video I sent you, Unsafe Space. She talks about how, most people that don't have a real, I'm not talking about religious, I'm talking about a real spiritual practice and something that resonates deeply within them. The people that don't have that are so influenced and so just like lost and can be, manipulated in any kind of way. And for people like us, like we have our spiritual practice. We have our God. We know what God means to us, but there's so many people that are like, oh no, I'm an atheist. There is no God. Oh, well, honey, guess what? If that's really what you believe, you're going to find out real fucking quick. Yeah. Real fucking quick.
They're just going to be lost for a while, and it's going to take
while the rest of us are like, hello.
A really hard time to come out of that hole.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And look, so do you see how much cup and emotional...
Yeah, there's a lot of love.
There's Knight of Cups. There's the Moon, the Lovers, and the Princess of Cups. And those are, I mean, the Lovers is definitely more of,
That's a soul thing.
it's a very much a soul spiritual desire. And desire is actually what fuels us to do the will, right? You have to have the desire, then you have the will.
Yeah.
And sometimes I fully believe that in this life practice that we have, you know, being a human on this earth, sometimes we have to have the will and do the thing to find the desire. It's almost like, you know, you do the work to see if that's actually what you want to do, and then you're like, oh my God, I actually do want to do this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of flip-flop, but on a soul level, this is like, it's all like flip-flopped. They actually talk about that too. It's like what we've been served up on this platter of, here, believe this. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. We need to flip this bitch around, because now we get the shade. We can stick it in a little thing and make our chain.
Yeah. But even for those of us who are in this spiritual rituals that we have and everything else, and we trust and everything else, even we are having to have this moment of, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So.
And that's scary as fuck.
And because I'm having a really hard time lately. Like, I still get my messages and stuff like that, but it's not, I don't feel that, like,
that big,
that someone's just like holding me behind. Because I feel that, where it's just like, I'm holding you up, I got you, no matter what comes at you, I got you. And I'm like, okay, I got this. And I don't feel that right now.
Well, Jupiter is retrograde.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, is like,
God is like, we're gonna see how well you can fly, honey.
Yeah, and that's totally what it is. And so for us, we're having those, our issues are coming up too, and it's this, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to handle it? So for people who don't have the ritual and they're going through it, you know, they got to be like, the fuck we do.
Well, and they are more easily able to succumb to the malicious powers that are like, well, just do this. Just support this narrative. Just buy into this, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But I like the Knight of Cups upright.
Hope.
Hope.
A little hope in there.
That's a good way to put it. It's hope. I just hope that it's not just something that's
at the bottom of the deck.
Oh, she wants to know what's at the bottom of the deck.
Uh-oh.
10 of Cups in reverse. Like, holy shit. 10 of Cups in reverse. That was on the bottom of the deck. I think that given the astrology that I know of and what people have been talking about and what things are going to be coming up in the next couple of months, well, the next month now, we're in August, there's going to be an extreme challenge and an extreme about face that's going to make us question our gut intuition. And I think we're going to have to hold the fucking line, hold strong. If you know that something isn't right, just hold on to it.
They're already bribing us now, so.
Oh my God. It's nasty.
It's pretty gross.
It's pretty fucking...
Don't say anything, Go, because it will cut us off. So, but yeah, it's pretty gross. There's actual bribery now, which is weird.
And threats.
Bribery
if you
and
don't do
threats.
it, you'll lose your job. They just did that with the nurses.
Yep. But anyway.
And the VA. That was what came out today. The announcement from the VA.
I'm in my 40 days of self-love, so I am not looking at news. There's no news, no headlines.
I'll do it for you.
I just go like this. I love myself.
I love
see
myself.
nothing. I just love
I want
myself.
you to love me. I forget myself. I want you to remind me. When I feel it down, I want you above me.
Weird dorks.
I don't want anybody else. When I think about you, I touch myself. Oh, I don't.
Okay, we could go on forever. On that note, I think we should close.
Love
out.
yourself. Fill your own holes. And for whatever it's worth, let the old shit die and love yourself. Okay? That's what the cards are basically saying. Let the old shit die. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's lies. Doesn't matter if it's deceit. Doesn't matter if there's secrets. Doesn't matter if it should have been this way or you wanted it to be that way. Who gives a fuck? Let it the fuck go. Have
Stay in
love.
truth.
Unconditional love. Pretend like the thing that did you wrong, the person, the circumstance, whatever it was, pretend like that's your child. And you know what? You're going to fucking love him anyway. You're going to love him anyway. Just look at it through God's eyes. I'm going to love him anyway. Doesn't mean I've talked to him.
Nope.
But I'm going to love him anyway. And then just let it go. Just let it the fuck go.
Yep.
So we can please get on. We need to become a quasi-crystal.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
We love you all. Namaste,
motherfuckers.
motherfuckers. That's my favorite part. All right, we'll talk to you all
See you
later.
next
Love you.
week.
Please like, please subscribe, sign up for the notifications so that you know when we're going live. Visit us on Honeybee Awakened at the Instagram page. And mine is at Melissa Urban with one S, and hers is at
Melissa Carpenter, I think.
At Melissa Carpenter with 2 S's.
I don't actually know my Instagram.
She doesn't know. You can find her through me. It's fine.
It's true. I'm out there somewhere.
It's fine.
I don't know
Okay.
where I am, actually.
What are you?
I don't know. I'm gonna look.
You know, she's gonna look. I'm gonna.
Oh,
cue us
nope.
up.
It's at Mel Carpenter Austin.
Oh, it
Can't
is.
see it, but-
Oh, and you know what? I liked your realtor page from the Honeybee thing today, and I was like, why don't I like her already? I was like, oh, that's a different one.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Bye, guys.
Okay, we love you. Bye.
Bye.